Boxing Opinions 100. I wanted to talk about being undefeated. And does being undefeated uh, make you and make you a pound for pound fighter? Like, how are the pound for pound fighters rated? How did they get their credibility to be called pound for pound fighter of your division or just overall? So you got Vasily Lomachenko. He had 13, 14 fights compared to somebody that has 30 fights, 40 fights, and he's already being labeled as a pound for pound great. And another boxer, Terrence Bud Crawford. How does he get to become, or not get to become, get to be called a pound for pound boxer or a pound for pound great, or whatever that title means? So Bob Arum says that Terrence Crawford can't sell, so he can't fill up the stadiums, or he's not pay-per-view quality. In other words, so if a Terrence Bud Crawford fight gets announced, so he must say that ticket sales are low. So is Terrence Bud Crawford just an hometown fighter? Does he just fight in his native hometown? These are questions I'm asking you, the boxing fan. How do you feel about Terrence Bud Crawford being rated as pound for pound boxer? I'm not saying that he's not a pound for pound boxer. So I'm just trying to get to the conclusion, well, if you can't sell tickets and you can't fill up arenas, so do you just have this title and this is how it'll be? So it seems that Terrence Bud Crawford would be great. If you compare Terrence Bud Crawford fights to Vasily Lomachenko fights, Terrence Crawford has double and a little more fights than Vasily Lomachenko has. So how did Vasily Lomachenko rise so quickly to become, or not to become, to be called a pound for pound fighter? So we have a few fighters today, it's a very few, that has the title, and it seems that sometimes it's kind of like a hard choice to choose who's pound for pound. But it seems to me that the guy with mostly the unblemished record, since he has no defeats or no losses, he's always rated over the other fighters that may have a blemish on their records. So you have there Tyson Fury mentioned in the pound for pound category. So I don't know if are they rating him just on being a pound for pound in the heavyweight division, since he's undefeated and he hasn't suffered a loss. So you have Earl Spence Jr., which the fighters that Earl Spence has faced, to me, qualifies him to be a pound for pound fighter. Manny Pacquiao somewhat deserves for what he's accomplished. I mean, he's 42 years old. He still has a title. So he deserves every right to be called a pound-for-pound boxer. That's in my opinion. What's your opinions on does Manny Pacquiao deserve to be called pound-for-pound fighter at this point in time, or is that time past for Manny Pacquiao? You know, Manny Pacquiao has had many lives as a boxer. You know, he has seemed like it was his last days. You know, when what was it? I was trying to think of the guy that knocked him and the guy that had 4 fights. I almost said Margarita. It wasn't Margarita. But anyway, how is pound-for-pound fighter determined? I would like to know your thoughts on that. Leave your thoughts down in the comments of how the fighters get to be called pound-for-pound fighter. And so I'm just going to name off a couple of more fighters that the boxing world has been labeling them as pound-for-pound fighters. First of all, we have Canelo Alvarez, which is deserving of all to be called pound-for-pound just from his accomplishments. Now, Tyson Fury, to me, kind of moves in and out. You know, he comes back, wins a championship, and disappeared, and he comes back. So I guess just the fact of him just winning in the division, but I'm quite sure there's someone that hasn't risen to his status that is undefeated, but is not called pound for pound. So is it your notoriety, your fame? So I just thought of what makes people call a boxer a pound for pound great. I mean, it's a good thing, believe me. You know, Andre Ward has been called a pound for pound great, and Floyd Mayweather, from what he did in his weight division, even though he's been through several weight divisions, has, when he was active, he had all the rights to be called pound for pound great fighter. So this, we was just going over what makes boxing fans, what makes people label the boxers as pound for pound. So I'd like to know your opinion. Leave your opinions down in the comments. And this is Boxing Opinions 100, and I'm out.